campus officials, faculty and staff, students, constituents of the Mindanao State University main campus. Please accept my warm greetings of peace and solidarity. In a few seconds, we shall witness the University Virtual Orientation Program for the first semester academic year 2020-2021. Please stay tuned.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
الحمد لله رب العالمين
All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds.
الرحمن الرحيم
The entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
مالك يوم الدين
Sovereign of the day of recompense.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين
It is you we worship and you we ask for help.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم
Guide us to the straight path.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين
The path of those upon whom you have bestowed favor, not of those who have evoked your anger or of those who are astray.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, telas ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisikin, sa nagatak tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagaw, ay hinagang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal, ang islang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagtitindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magtitindig, lumalang araw ng walhaging pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo, ang inigaya ng pagkay mga amin, at mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Welcome to the University Virtual Orientation Program for the first semester academic year 2020-2021. These orientation is an academic tradition that ushers in a new semester. Especially for this semester, in view of the university's goal to curb the local transmission of COVID-19 and in line with the guidelines and recommendations of the University Flexible Learning Committee, virtual classrooms have been created to meet the demands of tertiary education to sustain quality in the delivery of instruction and to maintain academic excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, to formally open the program, let us have the remarks of Dr. Minerva Samina Naga, Director of Admissions.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Mindanao State University Marawi campus welcomes all incoming freshmen and continuing students for the first semester academic year 2020-2021. The start of classes is moved to October 2020 per Interagency Task Force Emergency Infectious Diseases and CHED advisories. Amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, it is the university's moral obligation to continue its mandated goals in providing access to and quality education. In this pandemic time, teachers and students shall be engaged in remote teaching and virtual learning. Learning opportunities are delivered in various flexible learning options. While information has become borderless, the recent tragedy in Marawi City and Lanao del Sur as a whole, the new normal has gone beyond the four walls of the classroom. Given the right recipe of teaching, inquiry-based and project-based learning, students can be engaged to explore, explain, and evaluate their own learning. The faculty force of the Mindanao State University Marawi campus is committed in providing you quality education with the new normal learning spaces in the confines of your home using MSU's learning management system. Borrowing the words of Craig Barrett, retired CEO, Chairman of the Board, Intel Corporation Technology, computers aren't magic, teachers are. Thus, our faculty members will continue to remotely and virtually facilitate teaching learning processes, developing further your technological skills, communication and media skills, critical thinking skills, creativity, and problem-solving skills, equipped in your respective fields of discipline. To our dear parents, you shall be our partners in making your sons and daughters succeed. As we engage them in remote, virtual learning, we shall be collaborating with you every so often to know our learners' progress, should they deserve to pass in due time. Your full support and guidance will assist them in achieving their ultimate aspirations in life. We may be at a disadvantage in this pandemic time, but we can take this opportunity to grow and live life to the fullest. Be with your loved ones in these trying times and be healthy and stay safe. Inshallah, God willing, this shall come to pass and we can continue to fulfill the dreams you have aspired for. And we shall be looking forward to seeing you, dear students, on campus should our situation improves. With the unwavering support of our proactive leader, MSU System President Habib W. Makaayong and his administration, the Mindanao State University Marawi campus shall continue to provide access to and quality education. Again, welcome to the Mindanao State University Marawi campus.
The inspirational message by Dr. Habib W. Makaayong, the Mindanao State University System President.
MSU Vice Presidents, Vice Chancellors, Deans, Directors, other officials, students, guests, good day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace and the blessings of Allah be with you all. Vita non est vivere, sed valere vita est. This COVID-19 pandemic has categorically altered the socio-economic and cultural lives of our society. It has adversely affected our lives in so many ways in an unprecedented scale. This includes the educational landscape of the country. Our university, the Mindanao State University, does not enjoy immunity from the impact of this public health crisis. However, driven and sustained by the nobility of its purpose as an academic institution for the people of the municipal region, and most especially the marginalized sectors of our society. We cannot easily succumb to this unfathomable uncertainty and desolation. Hence, as an academic community, life is more than merely staying alive. This historical occasion, the opening of the academic year and the resumption of our regular state of affairs, albeit virtually, is an opportunity for us in rekindling our commitment for service, appreciating our relevance to our community, and fortifying our spirit that springs forth from the enormous force of our solidarity as one in MSU, regardless of the time and distance. In these trying times, our university, through us, shall hold its beacon of light with conviction and advance with caution. This is not the first time for our dear MSU to have come face to face with insurmountable adversities. We have survived the siege. These too we will overcome together. The greatest tragedy in life is not death, they say, but a life without purpose. Amid this pandemic, we have rules to assume and parts to play in this university. From the Confucian perspective, let the teachers be teachers, let the students be students, let the leader be a leader. Dear students, grab this chance to build your dreams while you are studying in the campus. Although the learning platform and environment have changed and become challenging for many reasons, learn as much as you can from the guidance of your teachers. Being part of MSU and in the tech-savvy generation, take the higher ground, be hungry for knowledge but grounded. Our resilient faculty members, our frontliners in the academy, you are destined to serve the higher purpose of elevating the mind and giving energy to the character of our youth and amid this global crisis. It may prove perplexing navigating through and transitioning to digital and virtual teaching modalities from our traditional classrooms, but with the strong support and initiatives of the administration, your resilience, ingenuity, and devotion to your profession or calling shall carry you through. In this darkest hour of our contemporary history, our tri-functions as an institution of higher education have been pivotal. We provide not only quality education through instruction, but also deliver services through significant breakthroughs in our research outputs and extension initiatives. Your contributions in these areas can have limitless impact in this time of pandemic like no other. Together, we rise to the occasion and turn this crisis into windows of opportunity. We shall be ready for anything Good luck and be strong.
The brief history of the Mindanao State University.
Inumang daylagan, umuda sa kami mambu.
Given the problems of Moro insurgency and widespread poverty in the Moro communities in southern Philippines before its establishment, MSU was conceived to function as a peace university and an affirmative action policy instrument to help capacitate the Moro communities to develop and catch up with the more advanced regions in the country. Pursuant to Republic Act No. 1387 passed by the Philippine Congress in 1955, the Mindanao State University located in Marawi City, formerly Dansalan in Lanao del Sur, was established in 1961 with the following objectives. First, to educate the youth of Mindanao, Sulu, and Palawan region or the Minsapala region by offering degree programs in various fields of learning. Second, to support businesses and industries in the region by providing their manpower requirements. And third, integrate the Muslims and other cultural minorities into the mainstream of national life. From a one-campus university based in Marawi City when it started its operation in 1962, with only 282 students, the university metamorphosed into an 11-campus university system. Presently, MSU is the biggest government university in the Philippines in terms of student population. The university president is the head of the whole MSU system and is concurrently the chief executive officer of MSU-Marawi campus. Each campus is headed by a chancellor or superintendent for the three integrated technical vocational education campuses. The president is ex officio vice chairman of the Board of Regents, the highest policymaking body of the university. The chairperson of the Commission on Higher Education, or CHED, is the ex officio chairperson of the BOR. The oldest and biggest campus, the MSU main campus in Marawi City, is a comprehensive university campus with 17 degree granting colleges.
Let us meet the various university academic officials.
The General Convocation and Orientation of Mindanao State University for the academic year 2020 to 2021. Here are the Mindanao State University System officials. The MSU System President, President Habib Watamama Makaayo. The Executive Vice President, Makabangkit P. Ati. The Vice President for Administration and Finance, Attorney Jamaluddin A. Basar. The Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Alma E. Pilowag. The Assistant Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Zaira B. Macabago. The Assistant Vice President for Administration and Finance, Saliha M. Ginal. The Assistant Vice President for Planning and Development, Engineer Rodrigo S. Baez. System University Registrar, Dr. Ansano M. Ampo. The System University Chief Legal Counsel and Director of Legal Services Division, Attorney Shipig D. Abantas. The System Budget Director, Muhaimin C. Umpat. Secretary of the University and of the Board of Regents, Osman D. Aragasi. Assistant Secretary of the Board of Regents, Dr. Hijara M. Isumango. Director of the Presidential Management Staff, Aliyah P. Kali Pascal. Executive Director of the Office of Internal Affairs and Linkages, Attorney Renato S. Pacalto. These are the heads of the academic units. The Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Florencio D. Recoleto Jr. Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, External Units, Dr. Hichara U. Randy Caris. The Dean of the Graduate School, Dr. Binumbao R. Mayo. Dean of the College of Law, Attorney Alisidney M. Ditucalan. The Dean of the College of Medicine, Dr. Heidi G. Cabello. The Dean of the College of Agriculture, Rasid M. Baca. Dean of the College of Business Administration and Accountancy, Dr. Papala P. Masoro. The Dean of the College of Education, Dr. Montilla D. Sari. The Dean of the College of Engineering, Engineer Rodrigo S. Baez. The Dean of College of Fisheries, Evelyn C. Montes. The Dean of the College of Forestry and Environmental Studies, Danilo C. Miro. The Dean of the College of Health Sciences, Dr. Naima D. Mala. Dean of the College of Hotel and Restaurant Management, Olivia M. Sonajo. The Dean of the College of Information Technology, Maimuna M. Asu. The Dean of the Institute of Science Education and Director of Regional Science Training Center, Dr. Bartolome L. Cogas. Dean of the King Faisal Center for Islamic, Arabic, and Asian Studies, Dr. Abdul Qadir M. Ayu. Dean of the College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics, Dr. Henry P. Alinga. Dean of the College of Public Affairs, Dr. Violeta H. Ingracia. The Dean of College of Social Sciences and Humanities, Elena M. Tabanao. The Dean of the College of Sports, Physical Education and Recreation, Dr. Hindeli A. Adlawan. Assistant Dean of MSU-ILS, Norhaya Ibersami W. Dipatuan. Rector of the Division of Engineering Technology, San Vittore A. Bazar. The Director of MSU-Marawi Senior High School, Junaina M. Dimalna. The Director of Mindanao State University University Training Center, Dr. Elinaira P. Ismail. And these are the heads of semi-academic units. Introducing the University Registrar, Dr. Ansano M. Ampo. The Director of Office of Admissions, Dr. Minerva Samina M. Naga. The Director of Sharia Center, Alim Anwar M. Radyamuda. The Director of University Library, Elaine Anisha Guru. The Director of Division of Student Affairs, Engineer Labimumba A.D. Macabando. The Director of University Medical Services and Hospital, Dr. Ramli V. Osman. The Director of Office of Information, Press and Publication, Saidamin O. Limcas. The Executive Director of Institute for Peace and Development in Mindanao, Dr. Akram E. Latif. The Executive Director of Center for Women's Studies, Rakila T. Dimaluta. The Director of Aga Khan Museum and Natural Science Museum, Dr. Lina M. Kabugatan. The Director of Audiovisual Center, Alania M. Fahad. The Director of Cultural Affairs Office, Dr. Chuhari B. Pangandaman. The Director of Institute of Local Governance, Norkaya S. Muhammad. Director of National Service Training Program, Nelson Sixto H. Ganacho. The Manager of University Book Center, Jabida Natangkop Pario. The Commandant of ROTC Unit, Captain Julius A. Eliezo. And these are the heads of Research and Extension Services. We have the Vice Chancellor for Research and Extension, Dr. Tereseta Ong Poblete. The Director of Mamituwa Saber Research and Technology Center, Dr. Fima M. Abamo. Director of University Extension Service Center, Pandao O. Bula. Director of Ceramics Development Center, Dr. Aksara A. Bumal. We also have the Director of Technology and Innovation Center, Sarifa Sofia A. Makarambon Ali. The Chief of TIC Intellectual Property Office, Aina S. Pangandaman. The Chief of the TIC Entrepreneurship Training and Promotion Office, Richard S. Celeste. The Chief of the TIC Administrative and Technical Staff, Junaifa M. Di Maputa. And finally, the heads of administrative units. Introducing the Vice Chancellor for Administration and Finance, Attorney Saaduddin M. Alauya. The Assistant Vice Chancellor for Administration and Finance, Makombo U. Bongo. Director of Presidential Management Staff, Aliyah P. Kali Pascal. The Director of Administrative Services Division, Placid B. Salig. The Director of Human Resources Development Office, Amir D. Pangandaman. The Director of Legal Services Division, Attorney Shidik P. Abantas. The Director of University Campus Budget Office, Zoraida A. Ismail. The Chief of the University Business Office, Mangayaw R. Ulay. The University Chief Accountant, Saliha M. Ginaw. The Finance Director, Tarhata Kapal. The University Chief Cashier, Hasmina M. Dimagna. The Director of Physical Plant Division, Engineer Agay M. Mangundaya. The Director of Motor Pool and Water System Division, Engineer Sabdullah D. Makarambon. The Director of MSU Manila Information Office, Hannah G. Marquez. The Director of Security Services Department, Fire Department, Nermeen Marmar Biston. The Director of Supply Management Division, Dr. Takula L. Mandaman. The Director of Property Division, Sinaida B. Umar. The Director of Office of Alumni Relations, Hanima is Lao. Director of Housing Management Division, Nagaranaw A. Sangkupan. The Director of Institutional Research and Evaluation Office, Sadruddin A. Muti. The Director of Community Relations Office, Mahmoud G. Marhum. The Director of Auxiliary Services Division, Noraiza G. Ali. The Director of Information and Communication Technology, Ronald M. Salvosa. The Director of Muranao Cultural Heritage Center, Sir Haila El Latif Yusuf. The Manager of Food Services Division, Annie Jane T. Disumangko. Manager of University Hostel and VIP Lounge, Vice Teresa Kadir Sangkupan. The State Auditor of Commission on Audit, Amiladin M. Pulaw. The Chief of Radio and Telecommunication Office, Ihsan M. Amanuddin. And the Chief of the Internal Fiscal Review Office, Faisal B. Mangando. We also have the Chief of the Records Management Office, Dr. Ibrahim H. Aliponto. Finally, the University Engineer, Engineer Preciosa A. Dimaporo.
At this point, let us welcome Dr. Alma E. Beroa, the Vice President for Academic Affairs and Chairperson of the Flexible Learning Options Committee, to discuss the guidelines of blended learning.
In the name of God, the most merciful, the most beneficent. Assalamu alaikum, our respects and greetings of peace to all of you. To our University President, Dr. Habib W. Makaayong, Madam First Lady Rihanna Makaayong, fellow officials, Executive Vice President, Dr. Makabangkit Ati, Vice President for Administration and Finance, Attorney Jamaluddin Basar, Vice President for Planning and Development, Professor Rashid Paca, Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Florencia Recoleto, Vice Chancellor for Research, Extension and Development, Dr. Teresita Poblete, Vice Chancellor for Administration and Finance, Attorney Saaduddin Alawia Jr., Deans, Directors, fellow faculty, fellow alumni, staff, students, magandang umaga po sa lahat. My task this morning is to share with you flexible learning options that we are using for the first semester academic year 2020-2021. With COVID-19 pandemic, our world was changed upside down. We need to change paradigms, to change mindsets. While COVID-19 is a public health issue, it has affected almost every area of our lives. Economically, socially, politically, and all the other significant areas on how we live. With schools closed to students physically, we have to adapt to so many changes. As educators, there are many things we need to learn and many things to unlearn. Literally, I feel dizzy just to cope, but cope we must. Both for teachers and students, not only the modality has changed, but so many terminologies to learn. We need to learn fast. Online teaching means connectivity issues, gadget issues, time issues. We need to understand about distance learning, online teaching methods, online teaching strategies, online teaching technologies, online teaching tools, modules, video lectures, presentations, and 101 things that we need to think about. Certainly, it is not easy. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we came up with guidelines, 22 pages, including objectives, terminologies, flexible learning options, blended learning, assessment guidelines, health protocols, with its accompanying implementation rules and regulations. I will not consume all the time for today's orientation. Instead, I will just share with you the rationale for the guidelines for flexible learning options, and just encourage both faculty and students to read the guidelines as well as the implementing rules and regulations. But just so I will be able to give justice to the part assigned to me, maybe I will just share with you the rationale. The coronavirus disease, popularly known as COVID-19, has posed serious threats to health, security, and lives of people worldwide. The Philippine government responded to this crisis through the issuance of Presidential Proclamation Number 922, Series 2020, which declared a state of public health emergency throughout the Philippines due to the coronavirus disease 2019. To strengthen the government's response to this crisis, Republic Act RA number 11469, otherwise known as Bayanihan to Heal as One Act, was passed into law, declaring the existence of national emergency arising from the coronavirus disease situation and providing a national policy to address the challenges brought by this pandemic. One of the policies enunciated under this law is the mitigation, if not containing the transmission of COVID-19. Parallel to this policy, the Commission on Higher Education issued advisories in which the adoption of the flexible learning options and other health, safety, and preventive measures against the spread of COVID-19 have been defined so that the health of students, faculty members, and staff can be protected. In preparation to the shift to new normal due to spread of virus, universities and colleges are advised by the Interagency Task Force to prepare the flexible learning options protocol to decongest the classroom. And so, in compliance with social distancing and other health protocols described by the IATF, the Mindanao State University is determined to continue to provide quality and innovative education amidst the pandemic, with access and equity for all students. Through the MSU Flexible Learning Options Committee, issued by the President with Special Order Number 344, Series of 2020, is created to formulate guidelines in preparation of the implementation of flexible learning options in compliance with the foregoing regulations and advisories. So I would like to acknowledge, of course, the members of my team in the crafting of the flexible learning options guidelines and also the implementing rules and regulations. Of course, yours truly as chair, and Vice President Professor Resid Paca as Vice Chair. And for members, we have Vice Chancellor Florencia Recoleto, Vice Chancellor Attorney Saaduddin Alauya Jr., Attorney Renato Pacaldo, Director Professor Minerva Samina Naga, Director Professor Ronald Selvosa, Dean Professor Maimuna Asum, and Professor Annabel Valdez. These are all the members of my committee. And I also would like to acknowledge that the Mindanao State University has for its purpose on the implementation of the flexible learning options. The administration of the Mindanao State University main campus recognizes the need to continue fostering quality education amidst COVID-19. So these roles therefore govern the implementation of flexible learning modalities and conducting classes and other academic related activities during this first semester. As well, the administration of the MSU ensures that the university continues to provide quality education in all levels without compromising the health, safety, and preventive measures against the spread of COVID-19, so that the health and well-being of all is ensured. The university continues to achieve quality assurance and the delivery of knowledge and skills development, and shall continue to enhance the educational quality through effective and efficient mechanisms, processes, and tools in carrying out the different academic programs as well as other functions of the university. Thus, the modalities in the delivery of classes is that There shall be strict adherence of the preventive measures and health protocols, which includes but not limited to physical distancing, avoiding large gatherings, and wearing of face mask. The MSU main campus shall adopt the blended learning approach, but at this point, no face-to-face classes can still be allowed. So, there shall also be administration of examinations and assessments. There are rules on the learning management system. There are guidelines and rules on how the lectures and learning materials can be prepared and delivered to our students on distance learning modality. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, friends, the Mindanao State University system, as some campuses also adapted these guidelines and implementing rules and regulations, will continue to work towards quality outcomes-based education. I know there are many difficulties, many challenges. We will be frustrated, we will be disappointed at times. But let us try to be kind at all times, to be more caring and more understanding. No shaming, no bashing. Finally, I wish to acknowledge the sacrifices of our own professors, our own teachers, the sacrifices of parents, the sacrifices of our students. We hope all this will not be in vain. One day, this too will pass. Let us all pray that soon this will be over. We will survive COVID. We heal as one. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. God bless us all. Thank you.
Dr. Florencio D. Recoleto Jr., the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, to present his academic expectations.
To the honorable officials of the university, the Mindanao State University System President, Dr. Habib W. Makayong, Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Alma E. Birua, Vice President for Administration and Finance, Attorney Jamaluddin Basar, Vice President for Planning and Development, Professor Rashid M. Paca, other esteemed officials of the university, deans, faculty members, staff, and students, Assalamu alaikum, greetings of peace to all. Let me start by quoting a renowned language researcher and educator, Norman Fairclough, as he said, quote, "It is easy to exaggerate the capacity of schools for social engineering. The class system is reproduced in many domains, not just education," unquote. The drastic changes brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic is not unprecedented. History tells us the many times in the past when human resilience and the spirit to evolve as a species had been on several occasions tested. The days ahead seem to be bleak and hopeless for all humanity, but we are not afforded the luxury to give up and lose the battle. The pandemic has opened up social wounds that have kept many of us divided. Despite the efforts of the government in providing more accessible tertiary education, now the underprivileged have become more disenfranchised as our classrooms are virtually diverted. Besides the perennial problem on internet connectivity, many of us struggle from economic divides such as securing costly learning gadgets to as mundane as buying load for mobile data. In spite of the pandemic, the survivor spirit of an MSU-1 must thrive. Academic excellence should never be compromised. To our beloved students, let us look to the sayote as a symbol of hope. Many alumni who are now successful in their respective professions pay gratitude to this simple vegetable fruit that kept them satisfied as they were burning their candles. To our ever dedicated faculty members, hold our students as if you are holding a fragile bird in your hands. Never too tight, never too loose, just right. Let me take this opportunity to also greet you a happy World's Teachers' Day. Specifically, let me emphasize these 3-point academic expectations. Firstly, as we are compelled to go virtual with our class, in view of the guidelines of the flexible learning options, as we implement, feel free to explore and navigate the new demands of education until we find the most suitable learning strategies and the best practices which fit our context and produce the best results. Secondly, in relations to the trend to online classroom setting, our foremost concern is to build and sustain a conducive learning environment and meaningful experience for all learners and faculty members alike. To most faculty members, your home shall temporarily become your offices. Strive to adopt a more stress-free environment as you are confronted with workplace on top of domestic concerns right within your homes. To students, help us, your MSU administration, in defining a conducive learning environment based on your respective localities and realities. Just like in the past, your resolute spirit and resilience shall be the key to your success. Lastly, compliance to academic requirements is a must and should never be negotiable. However, the pandemic teaches us to strike a balance between what is essential from what is excessive. Always consider a leeway for room for human consideration and empathy in line with our pursuit of maintaining academic excellence. The time that we are living in right now is historic, but remember that it is not just education that molds us. It is the combination of the human spirit to prevail and succeed through compassion and determination, patience and sacrifice. So as we pursue and uphold academic excellence, may we not forget that we are all groping in this new normal. The Desiderata says, quote, "Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself," unquote. If we must all survive this pandemic, we must survive with an intact and sound mental health too. This is an individual battle as it is a collective. In the end, let me allude to the inspiring words of Pyrrhus of Epirus when he lost many of his best soldiers against the mighty Romans in the Battle of Asculum in AD 279. With some loose ends, even if we may be defeated in this battle, we shall win the war. With some loose ends, even if we may be defeated in this battle, we shall win the war. Amidst all the challenges and expectations that loom before us, may we still have a meaningful first semester academic year 2020-2021. Thank you very much. Stay healthy and see you soon.
To discuss the ethics of online learning and teaching, we have Professor Maimona M. Asem, Dean of the College of Information Technology.
Okay, we start. Greetings, dear students. Welcome to MSU 2.0. I am Professor Maimona Asum, one of the faculty members of the College of Information Technology and presently the Dean of the College. As we embark with the new normal, let me share with you some of the things we need to know when in an online class. My topic for today, as assigned to me by the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, is to discuss Internet etiquette, or better known as the netiquette. Let us start by getting to know an MSU-1. What quality traits can best describe an MSU-1? Afterwards, let us try to associate it with how we should act as a student whenever we are in an online class. The first trait that we can think of is that an MSU-1 is mindful. Mindful in the sense that he is conscious of his or herself. He is attentive towards the needs of his classmates and instructors. And he is also very much aware of what is happening to his surroundings. As such, here are some of the actions an MSU-1 should do when in an online class. First, think before you click. Now, this is a very famous line sa isang online whenever we are connected to the internet. So as much as possible, before you want to say something, before you express something, before you post something, read it carefully. Think about it. Will it hurt somebody, if ever I post this? Will I be saying something negatively towards others if ever I post this? So isa yun sa mga tinitingnan ninyo bago ninyo masabing, I will click on the send button, I will click on the post button. So we have to think twice. We have to read it carefully before we do the clicking the button or the clicking on the send button. Another thing is, mute mic and off camera when leaving one station. Sometimes kasi nakikita from the background that whatever we do outside of the classes, na minsan hindi natin namamalayan na na-view na pala yung mga kasaka-klase natin. So as much as possible, kung mag-off ka when we're going to leave your station, try to mute your mic and off camera. And in fact, in muting mic also is very much needed pag nagpe-present yung teacher, no? Whenever your teacher or someone else from your classmate is presenting, try to mute your mic para hindi siya ma-distract the moment he is presenting. Also, make yourself look good online. Hindi porket nasa bahay na tayo and then we are present during the synchronous discussion, attending the Zoom, attending the Google Meet, pwede na tayong magpajama, no? As much as possible, kung ano yung outlook natin, yung outfit natin whenever we are outside or attending classes physically sa mga classrooms, ganun din sana yung maging outfit natin. Maganda yung aura mo pag let's say for instance feel mo nandun ka pa sa classroom, no? Hindi yung nakapajama ka din bigla kang a-attendan, i-on mo pa yung camera mo, so kitang-kita ng mga kaklase mo, no? So isa yun sa titingnan natin. In terms of naman of the don'ts, no? As much as possible, do not take screenshots of the video feed of teachers and classmates unless they give permission for you to do so. Kasi we are into Privacy Act, no? Data Privacy Act. So, technically, yung mga video feed ng mga teachers at sa mga classmates natin, kanila yun. So, hindi natin yan basta-basta kinukuha without their permission. Likewise, with the first statement that use sarcasm freely, don't use sarcasm freely ang sabi dito, no? Meron tayong freedom of expressions pero as much as possible in terms of the netiquette, hanggat maaari, huwag gagamitin yung mga words that is very much sarcastic, no? May double meaning, no? So, baka magsa-start pa tayo ng gulo whenever sa post, no? Maraming mga cyber issues na naglilipa na ngayon because of postings, bad postings. We move to the second trait of an MSU-1. MSU-1 are known to be sincere. We are, first and foremost, we are true, we are honest, and we are genuine. I hope so. Our sincerity is reflected in an online class whenever we are accurate and factual. So as much as possible, yung tamang data lang po and information ang kukunin natin. Ang internet provides us with the vast information, no? Daming information na pwede natin makunan, pero hindi natin alam doon which one is accurate and which one is fake, no? So as much as possible, kailangan alamin natin kung ano yung tama at yung totoo. Okay? So, we need also to be respectful to other people's privacy. So, number one no-no sa internet etiquette is as much as possible, do not read somebody else's email. No? Do not read somebody else's accounts. Do not go into somebody else's accounts without their permission. So we need to be respectful of our classmates' privacy, of our teachers' privacy, and other people as well. Another trait an MSU-1 has is understanding. MSU-1s are understanding as we are compassionate, considerate, and sensitive to how others would feel. Hence, as much as possible, whenever we can, in an online class, let us try to be considerate and patient to others. And remember that we need to be considerate to their capability in terms of their skill in an online delivery mode, no? Kasi yung iba na medyo baguhan pa sa technology, so hindi pa siya sanay on what to do, especially our instructors. May mga instructors tayo na hindi sanay gumamit ng technology. So, let us be considerate, no? Huwag na tayong bibiglang gagawa-gawa ng memes sa kanila o ng mga parody just because we find it funny yung mga video na pinost nila. So, remember, as much as students are trying to adapt to the new normal, the faculty are also doing that, no? Kami din, nag-adapt din kami sa new normal. So, let us try to be considerate, okay? As much as possible also, let us try to keep our disagreement healthy. So, kung meron ka mang hindi, let's say, hindi ka agree kung ano yung statement, no? Let's say, for instance, may discussion kayo, and then some statements are not, parang hindi sa'yo conforme, try to have a disagreement that is more healthy, no? So, do not engage in unnecessary arguments, and as much as possible, avoid flame wars, no? Kasi yung mga post na yan, kasi meron tayong sa internet, kasi meron tayong theory of anonymity daw eh. So parang nagiging invincible ka just because hindi ka kilala, no? So sa feeling mo is kahit pwede ka lang mag-post ng kung ano-ano. So that doesn't mean that you become better in doing that, no? So as much as possible, do not engage in unnecessary arguments and avoid flame wars. Yung sinasabing flame wars, yung sumasali ka sa mga battle, yung mga keyboard warriors na mahiling makipag-away on the net. As much as possible, stay away from those kind of engagement. The next one is MSU-1 is alert. And MSU-1 is alert. How do we become alert? Okay, so when we say alert, tatak MSU is tatak alert daw. We are watchful, we are observant, and we are vigilant. That is why, let us train ourselves to first create strong passwords, no? may mga tendency kasi na minsan ginagawa nating password is yung birthday natin. So, alam na alam kung ano yung birthday mo. Or sometimes, although we cannot avoid the fact na yun yung mahirap malimutan, no? But anyway, if your account is very, you think yung email mo is very much private for you, as much as possible, come up with strong password. Nasa iyo, maalala mo, pero hindi kayang i-comprehend or i-decrypt ng ibang tao. So, create strong password and share only those information that are provided by the expert. Para sigurado ka, hanggat maaari, sigurado ka na yung mga binigyan niya mga information are factual and accurate. Don't give out online links and their passwords to people who should not be in the class. So, kung ano man yung binigay sa inyo ng faculty, let's say for instance, binigyan kayo ng teacher ninyo ng module to read on, some reading materials to read on, as much as possible, yung reading materials na yan or anumang online links na yan, dyan lang yan, within the confines of your classroom lang yan. Huwag mo basta-bastang pinamimigay kasi hindi mo alam, baka may security issue yan, pinaghirapan yan ng teacher na kunin with all the security issues na finalo, and then later on, bigla na lang nag-spread, then magkakaroon pa ng issue yung teacher mo. So, hanggat maaari, iwasan yun. And finally, an MSU-1 is noble. What makes an MSU-1 noble? Finally, an MSU-1 is noble as he is first righteous. Righteous. He is upright and honorable. Thus, whenever online, you have to be as polite as you are in person. Kung ano ka, when in person, as much as possible, ganun ka din sana when you are online. Okay. You try to respect your instructors and classmates' time and data limits. No? Let us accept it. Meron rin tayong tinatawag na digital divide. So hanggat maaari, may mga kaklase tayo na at saka mga instructor na very precious sa kanila ang time nila at saka yung data nila, data limits nila. So, hanggat maaari, wag nating sayangin yung oras nila at saka yung data usage nila. Make use of what is been scheduled sa atin and make the most of the time that is provided to us. What else? So, I think that is for a belief are the things that we need to consider when you are online. And for that, you will know that if you try to be on these traits, isa ka dito, is qualified ka, or sabihin na natin na ito yung mga traits na meron ka, then you will be a certified MSU-1. First, you are mindful, you are sincere, you are understanding, you are alert, and you are noble. That would make you an MSU-1. Okay, so before I end this presentation, I would like to leave you with a phrase or a quote from Confucius. It says, "Do not do unto others what you don't want others do unto you." Thank you and have a nice day.
The closing remarks by Professor Rashid M. Paca, the Vice President for Planning and Development.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. Firstly, I would like to extend my salutation of peace, prosperity, and good health to everyone, especially in this challenging time of pandemic. I would like to commend the Mindanao State University Administration under the leadership of the MSU System President Dr. Habib W. Makaayong for continuously believing in the essence of education and exhausted all efforts to continue our educational endeavor despite this COVID-19 pandemic. Equally important to recognize the role of the various officials of the university, especially the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs under the leadership of Vice Chancellor Florencio Recolito Jr. and also the Office of the Vice President for Academic Affairs of the MSU system, who chaired the Committee on Flexible Learning Options of the University, Dr. Alma Birwa, for successfully crafting FLO guidelines and its corresponding IRR for the university. Of course, a special commendation to the deans, department chairpersons, and other college officials of the various colleges of the university for doing the legwork in all academic activities of the campus during this first semester despite COVID-19 pandemic. I would like also to extend my salutation to our resilient, patient, and ever-passionate faculty members of the university for doing your very best to adapt and apply the so-called new normal instructions. I understand how exhausting your jobs are in the past months, strategizing your modes of instructions, attending series of trainings and workshops, reaching out to your students, and not to mention the sleepless nights of creating your modules. I would like also to recognize the bravery of our dear students who valued their education as much as we do. I fully understand that not all of you have the privilege of having fast internet connection, and others may also have no mobile phone signal at all. But despite all of that, added with doubts and adjustment, you are still enthusiastic and eager to learn. In this trying time, when our educational endeavor is tested, the spirit of true MSU-1 really shines through. Our being an MSU-1 has been tested through different catastrophes, man-made and natural. We have been resilient during the Marawi siege and proved that nothing can take away our dreams. If we could remember, we were having classes while bombs were dropping behind us and the sounds of these bombs deafening us, but the brave heart of MSU-1s prevailed and championed the challenge. Now that we are facing another trial, I am encouraging everyone to show the same doubtlessness, and together we can traverse this challenge. At this most challenging and difficult time, I salute everyone because I believe that no matter how we prepare ourselves for the worst, at the end, we are still unprepared. No one has been prepared. All we need to do at this moment is to abide the new rules and adapt to the new normal. 2 days orientation formally symbolizes the start or the opening of the semesters of the university. I do hope we can successfully survive all these hindrances along the way. Do not make this pandemic a hindrance to your education, but rather marks this as an encouragement to pursue your dreams. After all, you are all MSUans. Let us be thankful to the authorities, to MSU administration, to our faculty members, and to our parents for undying support to make your dreams a reality. I hope that everyone is successful in their respective endeavors. I further pray that this COVID-19 will be over in the soonest possible time. Thank you very much, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much for joining us in this university virtual orientation program for the first semester, academic year 2020-2021. We would like to acknowledge technical support extended by the Office of the Information, Press, and Publication, led by Director Saidamen Ilingas. I am Professor Randy Ayan Gallego, Faculty of the College of Health Sciences and Special Assistant at the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, your most humble presenter. Here is wishing you the most productive and meaningful semester ahead.